Stitch Cuties, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and in this video tutorial we are going to build our applique units for sewing machine applique of block 4 of the Christmas Lane block of the month. So we are going to put our sweet little angel together. So of course you'll open your box, get your fabric ready, go on and identify your pre-fused laser cut pieces, put them in numerical order according to your pattern. So you're going to look at steps 5, 6, and 7 to identify the numerical order you're going to put your units in. And of course you can reference your placement guide to do so as well. Once you have all of that ready, you are going to build your unit. So we are going to start with our applique placement guide under our fusing mat and above our glass mat. So let me show you. We're just going to slip this right under here. And we're going to turn our light pad on. Now you'll notice that her little face has some accent lines. We're gonna go on and draw that on one of the pieces. So for her peach face, there's actually 2 pieces that are exactly alike. You'll notice that for pieces 2, 4, 11, 13, and 8. There are 2 of each of those so that you can double line it. But what we're gonna do first is mark our accent lines on her face, meaning we're gonna draw a line for her mouth and we're gonna give ourselves a guide for where we would put her little eyes. So you are simply going to put a dot where each eye will go. And then with her face, I like to draw the little straight line on both sides of her smile first, and then I'm gonna connect it. And so we're just gonna very carefully trace along this line, just like so. There we go, easy peasy, nothing hard about it. And I used my Pigma pen, like I've done in the past. You've probably seen that in tutorials. I'm gonna take my little face and I'm gonna put it over in my pile in numerical order with the other piece. So what we're gonna do first, our applique unit number 1 is 1 through 5. So essentially we're gonna build a little base right here of her cloud and her legs. I love it, she's like hanging out on a little cloud. So I'm gonna simply pull piece number 1, and again, there's 2 of these so that you can double line them. And you just put them right in place. Let me get it. I'm gonna start from the curves. There we go, and get that in place. And now we're just gonna put the second piece right over that. There we go, and I'm gonna very quickly press the 2 of these together. Now we are going to do number 2, which is her left leg. And again, 2 pieces of this. So we'll get 1 gently in place and do the second right over it in just a few minutes. You're going to have your units built and you're going to be sewing. So much fun. She's a pretty simple little girl to stitch. Very fun. And of course in the pattern we tell you exact color to stitch where. If you're using our thread kit, you'll find that very helpful. But again, this is your quilt. So if you want to stitch things in different colors than how we did it, go on and do that. No one can tell you not to. It's your quilt. There's no quilt police. Have fun with it. Okay, and now we're gonna put her little right leg on. Oh my gosh. How cute is she? I love it. And now we're just gonna let that sit here and we're gonna move our little placement guide aside to build our second unit, which starts with number 6 and goes all the way through. I think we build our whole little head unit. So we're gonna do her wings, her neck, and then her little head. And then the third unit's gonna be her little body. So first up, her wings, because an angel has to have wings. There we go. For some reason, do you know what just came into my head? When was this? The 90s? Late 90s? The movie with, was it called Michael? And it was John Travolta was Michael the angel. I don't remember exactly what the movie was about. I was kind of young then. But for some reason, I just had like a memory of that movie. And that's pretty bizarre. And now we're going to put piece number 7, and there's 2 pieces of that. Now, when it comes to piece number 8 for her face, remember we put an accent line on one of them to give her her face. We're going to put that one down second. We're going to put the one that doesn't have the drawn lines on first, because remember, we're double lining this. So give it a press where it overlaps. And then the one with her face goes right above it. And it's so funny to me how her face looks kind of weird right now, but watch, when we put her halo and her hair on, the face gets cute. And again, you don't want to drag your iron, you want to lift it across your applique. If you drag, you could end up messing up a piece. So now we'll come up here and put her little Swiss halo on. It's a yellow Swiss dot. It's not a Swiss halo. Yellow Swiss dots. There we go. You want to make sure that's nice and lined up. So it doesn't quite touch here, but it does overlap just a smidge right there. And now for her hair, which you really have to pay attention to your placement guide to get that just right. There you go. So before you press, just make sure you're overlapped everywhere. Yep, I feel good. I feel good about her hair. And so we're gonna press. So now we've already built our second applique unit. Now we're gonna build the inside of her little body. So I'm just gonna move this over. And so what we're gonna do is start with her left arm. So 11, 12, jump over here, 13, 14, and her dress and the star. And there are 2 pieces for each of her little arms, her little hands. I'm just gonna put both down at one time. Give those a quick press. And then her sleeve. I love it. You know what these sleeves kind of make me think of? My grandma used to sing in the choir, and they're choir robes at church. You know, they always have those flowy, drapey sleeves. I'm sure that's the same at all churches. Although I don't know if they still wear robes in churches. A lot of churches are more modern and stuff now. But when I was a kid growing up, I always thought it was really fun to watch the whole choir get in their pretty dress. And in the men wear the robe, so I guess I can't call it a dress, I call it a robe. They all just look so formal and beautiful coming into the church service. The good old days. But that's what her sleeves remind me of, nonetheless, are those robes. And now we will put her dress in place. Oh, did you see how off I was there? Pull this little dress over. There we go. And we're going to press where that overlaps. And now we just have to put her star on. And if you want, you can lift it and double check yourself. Yeah, that's good. And then see your lines. There we go. So we have all 3 units ready to go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you can assemble all 3 units together before you put it on your background fabric. So I'll lift my 3 units up very gently. Whee. And then her little body, be careful of her little hands, and her little dress. Remember, there's not a ton of overlap right there. So I'm going to center this back right here. And I'm going to put this all together as one unit before I put it on my fabric. I just think that's going to be easier. I don't remember what I said in the pattern, but that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, so number 1, applique unit number 1, right in place. Scooch it up a little, and then scooch it down right there. Now we are going to put her angel wings in her face. Just like so. And let's see, that came unglued a little bit right there, so I'm going to tap that with my iron. There we go. And now, her little body. So I'm going to start by lining it up right here. And then before I press this, I want to make sure that I'm overlapped on her neck. Yep. And then down the sides of her dress and over her legs. Yep. She's in the spot. And so then we'll press these. So now she is ready to go onto your applique background fabric. Just like that, you can lift her up as one unit. When it's hot still to the touch, you can kind of just like flop it, do a little shake, and then you can lift her off. So, so cute. Let me turn the light off so you see her. I love it. So with the magic of camera, here she is stitched. Oh my gosh, she looks so good. So let's talk about a few little stitch tips. Let's see, everything looks normal here. We're keeping the same size stitches everywhere. Even on her hands, I was able to keep the stitch size the same length and it fit in perfectly. The one spot where you may want to take your stitch bite end down just a little bit is right here on her sleeve. So it is definitely getting narrow right there. So you want to take that stitch length down. And then on her neck, what I did is I put the width between my stitches much smaller, and I made the bite in just a tad smaller so that I could make sure I got several stitches in. If I would have kept it at the same width and length as I did everywhere else, I would have ended up only getting one stitch right there. And I wanted her to have a little bit more of a security thing. You know, I don't want her neck to fall off. That would just not be good. Even though really, because it's stitched around the dress and her chin of her face, it's not gonna go anywhere, but I just liked it to be secure, so I changed that stitch to be closer together so that I could get more stitches in right there. And that is it. She is just a really fun, cute stitch. I hope that you enjoyed making her and that you're looking forward to your next block. And thank you as always for being a member of the Christmas Lane Block of the Month. Happy stitching!